Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca. We're back for a bit of a book haul. Not that I needed any books, as I am surrounded by books, but I had a couple of good reasons for hauling recently, and so I did. I think I did pretty well in terms of what I got for what I bought, for what I paid, but I think that I got a smattering of a little bit of random everythings. So let's look at what I picked up recently and why. First off, I was traveling and I went to Tennessee, and while I was in Nashville, I of course had to stop at Parnassus Books, which is Ann Patchett's bookstore there in Nashville, and it was just the loveliest, most beautifully curated shop. It was a great store. I definitely could have spent hours there, and I wish I could have bought all of the books, but I didn't. And of course, they have a table of signed Ann Patchett books there, so I had to pick those up. And I had a Sophie's choice of whether to get this one, which I did pick up, the essay collection, These Precious Days. And it's got a lovely dog on the cover and a woodpecker on the back. It's beautiful. Or Whistler, her new book. And I opted to walk away from Whistler because, and why I went with this, I always enjoy Anne's writing, but I haven't quite loved her novels. So I think I could love this because I really like her as a person and the things she has to say. But the novels just have not 100% landed for me in what they're doing. So I felt like this was more likely to be successful. So I got that one. And then I also weirdly got another essay collection. I'm not a huge essay reader, but for some reason, I was wandering the fiction. It was kind of a lot of stuff I've seen. And then I got drawn over to the shelf that has essays on it and wound up spending a bunch of time looking at the essay collection. So I think that was just where my mind was at that time. And I grabbed I Want to Burn This Place Down by Maris Kreitzman. And very particularly, I picked this up because of this blurb from Myra Jacob of A Good Talk. What happens when we move from admitting that America is no longer working to actively holding it accountable? I Want to Burn This Place Down is Maris Kreitzman's smart, humane, and utterly reasonable response to a country that has refused to care for the majority of its citizens, even the ones we are told it favors. In this timely collection of essays, Kreitzman has given us a poignant testimonial to her own disillusionment and a powerful indictment of the capitalist cruelty that has brought us to this point. So that sounds timely. It's not huge, and I think I'm going to enjoy it very much. I also, naturally, grabbed a Parnassus Books sticker. It says Parnassus Books Nashville, and it's a little pride doggy, so that's going to go on my laptop. And then, that's what I got at Parnassus. Then I got Half-Price Books visits. 2 visits, in fact, because I was off looking for a copy of Les Miserables for my buddy read that I'm just starting. And as a result, I got a coupon, so it's just a 10% off coupon, but they have a summer book reading bingo. That's very cool. So I asked, and they were like, yeah, we're not actually going to check it, but you can fill it out and complete the bingo and bring it back for your 10% off. Or you can just bring it back for the coupon. But that was exciting. So I am going to get more books for sure once that's in effect. However, I did successfully on my second trip to one of the Half-Price Books. We have several locations, but I had to go to 2 different ones. And at the second trip, I picked up my copy of Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. And this is not exactly what I was looking for. I ended up spending $10 on this, which was much more expensive than anything else I got, but I think this is a good copy. It's very solid and sturdy. It's hardback, and it's not pretty, but I do like it. I think this is a very durable, and it's not overly worn. A lot of the copies I saw that I considered were mass market paperbacks that were super duper worn, and that was not what I was looking for. So I think this is going to be a perfect copy to have in my collection to do this buddy read with and keep. So from there, it's all cheapos because I love finding a steal. So the first one is George Eliot's Silas Marner. This is a Signet Classic edition, and I recently read Middlemarch. I'm pretty positive either I read this or had it read to me as a kid and really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the story of this, but I have not read it in adulthood, definitely. And having just read Middlemarch, I really wanted more George Eliot to go to. So I was thrilled to see this on the clearance rack for $3. And that is, it's a very popular tale of basically this curmudgeonly man adopts a little girl or has somebody dumped on his doorstep, basically, and ends up completely changing as a result of caring for her. Then we have a trio of ridiculous books that I found in clearance that I just had to get because cats and dinosaurs. So the first one, I don't think there are really even going to be any cats in it, but it's Graham Greene's This Gun for Hire. And look at that. It's a cat with human hands and a gunshot wound and a gun in his hand. So I mainly got this for bafflement purposes because I don't understand why he has a cat head. I don't think that there is an actual cat gun for hire. I think this is just purely like a hired killer type of situation. An unforgettable portrait of a professional killer. The action and suspense are piling up every moment. It's a corker. Like, great blurbs on this one. Graham Greene, I don't know if this is the same, like famous Graham Greene, but interesting. And these ones I know very little about, other than they had stuff appealing on the cover. So this one, Cat Fantastic 2, and it is edited by Andre Norton and Martin H. Greenberg. Norton I am very familiar with and collect as much as I can of her work, but Greenberg I don't know. But this is a collection of short fantasy stories with cats, as you can tell. So, of course, regardless of what's in it, I am very interested. And I think there were not a lot of authors that I knew of in here other than Andre Norton. Elizabeth Moon is in here and Nancy Springer is in here, and I think that is it. But there's about maybe 15 stories in here, so exciting. I have a fun short story collection to get to whenever I have time. And then we have an author I know of, a book I've never heard of, Dinosaur Planet by Anne McCaffrey. And how could I not pick that up? They're walking around carrying a baby dinosaur, perhaps. And it sounds like they land on this planet and discover it's not what they expected, but is a jungle planet full of dinosaurs, potentially. So that should be a fun one, maybe for August, possibly. I don't know. Then we have a couple of hardbacks, actually, that I found for $3. Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. I can't really remember what this was. I think this is like eco thriller, which is pretty par for the course for Vandermeer, but he writes weird stuff. So this one, if I remember, he finds like a taxidermied hummingbird, and it leads him on a hunt of clues that has something timey-wimey to it, maybe. I don't remember completely. Very, very intrigued because I love Vandermeer's work. So I think that's probably likely to be the soonest that I get to. Then When the Angels Left the Old Country by Sasha Lamb. And this was up for, I think, the Lambda Literary Prize, I want to say, and something else. I don't remember. A sci-fi fantasy award. But it is Angels. And it's taking a real look at historical immigration to the U.S., I think, by Jews. And I'm very intrigued. I think it also has a queer element. That would be the Lambda Prize. But I love that sort of a mixture of mythic fantasy and history. Really, really a good genre blend for me. So I really want to get to this. I also think this was one that Lindy of Lindy's Magpie Reads talked about very positively, I believe. So really want to get to this one. And also Sasha's other book. I think they have 2 books out. And then one that I really didn't need a copy of, but I had to grab this because it was clearance. And it actually has a sticker for $35 on it from previously. So it is Anne of Green Gables, illustrated by Laura Fernandez and Rick Jacobson, and obviously written by Ellen Montgomery. But this is a really nice, like, this looks like brand new and it was on clearance for $3. It is just a generally really lovely copy. You can see sort of drop caps are pretty. There are little tiny pictures throughout, if I can find one, like this, that are color. And then there are some full page situations like this that are just beautiful. So thrilled to have that. Another copy of Anne of Green Gables, just what I need. But it's a very, very pretty, nice copy to have on my shelves. And lastly, not a book, I got a puzzle. This is Dragon Castle. So we've got a knight, we've got 4 dragons, I think, or more, there's 5, and a big spire of a castle. And though the box looks a little bit damaged and there's some tape here and around it, it looks like possibly this has not actually been opened before. It's still got the little dot stickers holding it closed on all 4 sides. So I think I got a steal from the clearance of this puzzle for $3. That's a pretty darn good deal for a brand new puzzle, if it is. Yeah, so exciting stuff in my haul. I think I spent $30 total, including my $10 Les Mis book for the half-price books, and then spent about double that for my 2 books from Parnassus. The sticker shock for buying new was real, because I don't ever buy brand new books, basically. Rarely do I do that. So that was a lot, but it was, I think, well worth it. It was kind of an extra splurge that I had fit into my planned budget for my trip. So those are the books. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, especially the kind of random pulpy ones that I grabbed. I need some guidance on if those are even worth picking up. And otherwise, tell me what you would like me to get to first that you want to hear about. So with that, thank you so very much for watching.